From Shanghai streets to special forces, the birth of a killing method. The Fairbairn-Sykes dagger is more than an object. It's the distilled promise of a violent, intimate solution to a soldier's oldest problem: how to win when everything else fails. Born in Shanghai in the 1930s from street police experience and formalised in manuals and films, William E. Fairbairn's close quarters methods and the thin, acutely pointed fighting dagger he helped design with Eric Sykes were adopted wholesale by Britain's raiders and special forces. That institutional chain, Shanghai to training manuals and films to Commando and Special Forces curricula, is well documented. Fairbairn's system did not revolve solely around the knife, but the knife occupied a privileged place within it. In All-In Fighting, 1942, it appears as the most direct and efficient tool for silent, close-quarters killing, taught alongside unarmed techniques and firearms rather than apart from them. Its prominence in Commando culture reflects this doctrinal emphasis, not a narrow focus on blades alone. This episode therefore concentrates on the knife as the most distilled expression of Fairbairn's killing method. Fairbairn's Knife Doctrine. Fairbairn did not teach an elaborate system of knife fighting. In All-In Fighting and on Commando courses, blade work was reduced to a few brutally simple actions. The thrust was paramount, faster, more reliable, and better suited to sudden, confined encounters than slashing blows. Cuts appear, but only as secondary measures. What mattered was economy of movement, repeated application, and finishing the fight quickly. Just to note, the smatch-it, often the overlooked cousin of the Fairbairn-Sykes knife, followed the same underlying doctrine. In All-In Fighting, Fairbairn's own illustrations show the smatch-it mostly employed in decisive cuts and cleaving blows, reflecting how its heavier, short sword-like form naturally favoured cutting actions over the thrust-centric use of the Fairbairn-Sykes knife. Two names from the SAS and SBS pantheon often appear in accounts of lethal knife work: Paddy Mayne and Lassen. Both men are associated with hand-to-hand brutality on raids where knives were practical tools of survival and murder. Mayne's war record is full of close fighting, and several anecdotes describe brutal blade work in the melee. Lassen's wartime actions include accounts of using a fighting knife during show raids and infiltrations. These personal stories align closely with Fairbairn's doctrine, emphasis on surprise, controlled stabs, and finishing fights quickly. Careful examination of the evidence tempers certainty with strong inference. 3 linked facts are well documented. Fairbairn wrote and filmed the system, All-In Fighting, and related training films circulated to Commando schools. Commando and early SAS and SBS training incorporated those methods, and Aknakari, Lokailat and other centres taught Fairbairn-style close-quarters combat. Mayne and Lassen trained and operated inside that culture, where the Fairbairn-Sykes model was standard practice. From these points, it follows that both men almost certainly used techniques derived from Fairbairn, even if no roster explicitly lists Fairbairn taught Mayne on 12 June 1941. A wrinkle worth noting is that not every blade photographed on a raider's belt was a Wilkinson-made Fairbairn-Sykes. Contemporary images and preserved examples show regional variants, for example, Middle East Commando knives, and Lassen in particular may at times have carried a non-standard pattern. That does not negate the doctrinal link. A warrior could carry a different blade and still fight by Fairbairn's rules. The dagger that redefined close combat. Recounted incidents. Paddy Mayne. One of the best known accounts comes from Martin Dillon's biography, Rogue Warrior of the SAS. Dillon quotes Major General David Lloyd Owen recalling Mayne describing a raid in which they had posted a sentry on nearly every bloody plane, and Mayne saying he had to knife the sentries before he could place the bombs. According to Lloyd Owen, Mayne added that he must have dispatched about 17 of them. The episode illustrates the kind of close-quarter, silent killing for which the Fairbairn-Sykes dagger was created. Stealth, precision, and decisive finishing. Whether Mayne carried a Wilkinson-made FS knife on that specific operation remains unconfirmed, but the description aligns with the close combat methods used by early SAS raiders. Disclaimer: Dillon's account is based on recollections provided decades after the events, and not all details can be fully corroborated from wartime primary sources. Modern historians generally accept the spirit of such stories while recognising that elements may have grown rather in the telling. Anders Lassen. A well-known stag-killing story attached to Anders Lassen can be traced to Mike Langley's 1988 biography Anders Lassen VC, MC of the SAS, which presents a tale of him stalking and killing a deer with only his fighting knife as part of his fearsome reputation. Later scrutiny, however, urges caution. Stuart Allen's 2011 thesis, Commando Country, notes that such dramatic feats echo the romanticised folklore of Highland hunting traditions and belong more to the myth-making culture surrounding early commandos than to firmly documented wartime fact. But it's a great story, and who knows. Danish historian and author of 2 more recent biographies on Lassen, Thomas Harder, found evidence that Lassen's wartime knife may not have been a standard Fairbairn-Sykes, as previously noted, but rather a Middle East commando knife, possibly acquired informally. Regarding the Sark raid, Operation Basalt, October 1942, multiple sources describe a German sentry being killed by Lassen with his commando knife, yet Harder flags that some post-war retellings may exaggerate participation or details. Reasoned inference. Doctrine to weapon to culture. Fairbairn's doctrine and dagger were central to commando and SAS training, designed for silent killing. Personal use. Mayne's account of 17 sentry kills aligns with the methods Fairbairn developed. Lassen's knife. Lassen's recorded use of a Middle East commando knife or variant blade in both hunting and combat reflects the same lineage, even if some stories are embellished. Conclusion. We cannot claim with certainty that Fairbairn personally trained Mayne or Lassen, yet the lineage is strongly plausible. Fairbairn's philosophy and dagger shaped the culture of Special Forces raiders. Mayne's claimed knife work and Lassen's documented blade tie both men to that tradition. In the end, what unites Fairbairn, Mayne and Lassen is not just the weapon, of course, but the mental architecture of violence. A willingness to make killing personal and silent. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing. Until next time.